The investments we're making in ad tech are long-term. These are large and strategic investments. The payoffs will take time, but we think they provide a necessary foundation for the advertising industry to make the shift to mobile and for Facebook's long-term growth.
That overshadowed what was a very strong quarter for Facebook, including the announcement that mobile ads are making a whopping 66% of their total ad revenue. And for more on Facebook's future, I want to bring in Ethan Kurzweil. He's a partner at Bessemer Venture Partners. Among other successes, he led its early investment in Twitch, which sold recently to Amazon for $1 billion. Ethan, help us get our head around this big R&D investment. Wouldn't one think that's great, that's Facebook thinking long term?
Yeah, that's how I think about it. First of all, thanks for having me. It's great to be with you. I think they're doing the right things. They're making the right moves to invest in the future. It's very competitive in Silicon Valley. Startups are poaching the best people, and they're trying to get ahead of that. They're buying innovative companies, and they're placing their bets where they think the market is moving in terms of people's attention. It changes fast, and they're trying to stay ahead.
How would you consider the WhatsApp purchase at this point?
I think it's too early to tell. I mean, they're making a massive bet on the future. Yeah, mobile is obviously, a big part of the future of their business. As you said, they've remade their whole business around mobile. One of the things people do on mobile is they stay in touch, they message. And so with that, they want to get that beachhead, that network of, very engaged users that are using that product every day. They're still doing it in 10 years. It'll look brilliant. If they've abandoned it for the newest of the moment, then it'll look stupid. We'll see.
And as far as R&D, from an investor standpoint, where do you want to see Facebook putting this money? If you're saying, great, glad they're investing, what do we want them to invest in?
I think what you're betting on is what's in Zuckerberg's head as far as, where the future, where people's time and attention will be placed. And so he's saying, I think Oculus is important. People are going to spend more and more time in these immersive kind of virtual reality-like experiences. He's also saying mobile and the various things that happen on mobile. They've released 4 or 5 different mobile apps. So if I'm an investor in Facebook, I trust Zuckerberg to make those calls as to what people are going to do. He's been right so far. So that's really the bet you're making right now.
Does it surprise you that they were able to amp up their mobile ad revenue so quickly? I mean, when we were looking at the IPO, mobile was the Achilles heel, and now it's leading the charge.
Absolutely, it surprises me. They've remade the whole company in 3 years. I mean, that was, as you said, the big risk for Facebook was that their entire business was on a platform that didn't have the same growth as another one. And they had to reinvent themselves, every aspect of it, from the ad sales and the business to, to the engineering and the culture that they set. And they've largely done that. That's been a success. Can they do it again? Who knows? It's really hard to do it once. Can they do it twice? We'll see.
Is it a concern for you that the active Facebook user is skewing older and older, and they're missing that younger generation who really have the most growth potential?
Yeah, and I think that's what this R&D spending is about. It's about trying new things to try to capture that newer audience. It's about buying WhatsApp. It's about launching new apps. It's about buying Oculus. And so that's why they're less profitable for the time being. It's because they want to continue to capture that newer audience. So it's a concern. Is it? Are they dead in the water? Not by any stretch. I think they've got a lot of plans to try to, remake themselves, again and again.
We heard from Dick Costolo. He believes Twitter can be bigger as far as user growth, as far as total numbers, those using Twitter, than Facebook. Is that a possibility even?
Well, sure. As you've seen, anything's a possibility. I mean, no one would have predicted Facebook could be as big as it is. Even 3 or 4 years ago, it seemed kind of crazy. And then it, just continued to explode and get to, over 1 billion active users. Can Twitter do it? Sure, they can do it. I think what we've seen with Twitter is it's a social network with a narrower appeal than Facebook. It's more niche. But what's happened with Twitter is a little different than Facebook in that they've grown in fits and starts. Events have happened, they've appealed to new audiences, and they've had lots of growth, and they've slowed down, and something else has happened. And so can they figure out their next act in the same way that Facebook's trying to? They can. It's going to be harder for them, but it's certainly possible.
Yes, but as you said, they've had fits and starts. Facebook truly is a different company than it was just 5 years ago. Twitter seems like it's the same trick.
I think that's right. I think they've had a little, they haven't been quite as innovative in terms of rolling out new products, changing the product, appealing to new things. They've been a little more constrained at that. I think Dick's made a lot of moves recently to be able to get more innovative. They have the cash to make acquisitions. They're thinking about the future. So it's too early to tell. The future's yet to be written there. But as you said, it's a more challenging proposition for them. No question about it.
From your perspective, does Facebook or Twitter need to continue to grow and have more users? When I look at the numbers, I think it's extraordinary just where it is. Why do they need to grow?
Yeah, well, from my vantage point as an early-stage startup investor, I think these are remarkable properties that have done amazing things, that have tons of people that are addicted to their content every day. So it is truly phenomenal. But as you say, the market has expectations for growth. And if they want to continue to, grow and be, the Google of in terms of their reach and applicability, yes, they've got to capture new users. They've got to reinvent themselves because users are going to, move to newer and newer products and newer platforms. I mean, look at Snapchat. That's now taking off and, fundamentally pervasive. Look at Twitch coming out of nowhere to, get to 60 million users. So people do new things, and they've got to stay ahead of that. That's absolutely something that should be on their mind.
Is it too soon to evaluate Oculus as an acquisition?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think, again, like with WhatsApp, what they're betting on is that people are going to spend more and more of their time on that platform in virtual reality, or in the sort of limited form of virtual reality that Oculus enables. And so that one will know, again, in a decade or so about whether that's in fact true and whether Oculus is the platform that enables it.
Before we go, Twitch, you clearly got right. You know Facebook and Twitter so well. What's the next big thing you've got your eye on?
Well, I'm looking at a lot of startups around online video. As you said, Twitch was one of the first to capitalize on that trend, YouTube before it. I think there's going to be many more things that online video enables for the future. We're now spending more time with video than television. A lot of that is mobile, and so you can do fundamentally new things with this medium, given where people's eyeballs and people's attentions are. So that's where I'm looking next.
All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Bessemer Venture Partners, Ethan Kurzweil. He got up very early for us, and it was worth it.